Hello, people of the internet. It is your boy Kishiwishi, and today I want to talk about something that I just noticed. The times feel weird in the current year of 2026. To me, it feels like there has been some ne'er-do-well who has a time machine and was just jumping through different points in time, doing a lot of different things. And now it's like all converging together and it's all happening simultaneously. That is the best way I can put it into words. And I don't know if a show, movie, or video game has ever explored a concept like that. But in my own headcanon, I feel like I've consumed a piece of media where something like this happens. And for any of you who are watching, I made sure to bring that up in the very beginning because I know how short your attention spans are. But for any of you guys who are watching, can you tell me if there's a show or movie that explored a concept like this? Because I feel like I literally watched something like in my head. Maybe in the future, you will see my name Kishiwishi or Kashawn Ouellette underneath a movie poster and the movie's gonna be something called like Nexus Blitz or some shit. I don't know, but that's what it feels like, because like the 90s, the early 2000s, the 2010s, it feels like they're all concurrently happening at the same time all over again. And for those of you who don't understand what the fuck I mean by this, I'm just gonna list off some things off the top of my head that kind of remotely makes sense to what I'm trying to talk about. And for those of you who, aren't chronically online or like actually mentally sane, you might be listening or watching this video thinking, oh, won't you look? This nigga's going through psychosis. This nigga's going on a schizo rant. Oh, the patterns, Mason. The patterns, the numbers, Mason. That type of shit. But listen, okay, first thing, the whole Diddy situation. I wasn't around in the 90s, but the whole trial, the whole thing with like I almost said Benjamin P. Diddy, but freaking whatever his fucking name, Sean Combs, Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Love, whatever the other fucking aliases he has, Jeffrey Epstein's lapdog, that shit. Yeah, his trial or the whole court proceedings feel very similar to what happened back in like 1993. Don't quote me on that. I might have said the wrong year, but I'm pretty sure it was 1993 where O.J. Simpson was on a very publicized trial. The only difference is O.J. Simpson walked free, and now Diddy's getting the Diddy back shots in jail, or giving out the Diddy back shots in jail. We don't know what's going on in there, but I know that nigga is like that nigga from that Lil Nas X video with, the hands in the pockets. Yeah, that's what he's doing in jail right now. So, yeah, that's one of the first things. And to add another thing to like explain or just to like entertain this topic that I'm talking about, events that are happening now, it feels like it's events that's happened before, but the outcomes are the opposite. So back to the same O.J. Simpson and Diddy comparison. O.J. Simpson got put on trial, whatever the fuck, walked free. Everyone thought he did it or whatever the fuck. The glove doesn't fit. Glove, love, T Diddy. Yeah, there's a schizo for you. But then Diddy went to trial. Powerful nigga, has a lot of money, didn't work out the same way. And that's going to go to my next point. The whole talk about politics, I feel like it's the direct foil to the politics in the mid 90s to early 2000s, maybe late 2000s, early 2010s. And what do I mean by this? Back then, it was the norm to follow conservative values while secretly believing in liberal values, but simultaneously making fun of the liberal values because that's not what's culturally significant. That's not the thing that people believe. DEI, back in 1998, you mentioned the word DEI, I guarantee you them niggas are gonna laugh at you harder than they laughed at the end of Groundhog Day or whatever fucking movie that came out back in the 90s. You know, like, I might be old, but motherfucker, I was born in 2001. I don't know shit that happened in the 90s outside of what I see on the internet. But nowadays, in the West, and I'm specifically saying in the West because, you know, in the rest of the world, people are pretty conservative, pretty traditional, because conservatism and traditionalism is what you need to survive. Don't quote me on that, or quote me on that. I don't give a fuck. But in the world of today, liberal values are what is expected. Conservative values is what that gets made fun of. And I'm speaking like cultural significant because, you know, in what happens on the internet and what happens in the real world, two different things, right? Because in the real world, whatever, it's a conservative make fun of the damn liberals, you know? It's like, oh my God, this goddamn liberal sissy can't even change a goddamn tie, but this motherfucker think he gonna vote my goddamn policy and tell me why I can't, nigga ain't new. You know, you know, that type of shit. But it's a liberal values. We make fun of the conservatives, but at the same time, the same conservatives that are getting made fun of, myself included, gotta believe those values. But because of the culture, you know, it's not the 90s anymore. You know, it's not expected that, oh, you're from a 2-parent household, mommy and daddy, and they love each other, and they actually have a 401ks or like bank account set up for you. Yeah. That's the type of shit we went from the 90s. Now the status quo is, oh, you got your mommy in the house. Your daddy either picks you up on the weekends or you never fucking talk to him, while at the same time you have a stepdad that doesn't do shit, but for some reason your mom does more for him than she ever did for your dad, which, you know, that's a whole different bag of worms. But it's shit like that. It's like, and I see in my mind of hearts, or hearts in the mind of the cards, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I can see the world going into the direction like it did in 2014, where it's like, oh, we kept pushing for liberalism. We kept pushing, and then liberalism finally went through, and then it went too far to the point where a fucking, I did not mean for this video to just go into this, but we're going to go on to another topic. But we went so far on the pendulum that we have drag queens that will go to kindergartens reading books about sex change to fucking 5-year-olds. The pendulum has swung into that direction. And in my heart of hearts, I believe it's going to swing the opposite direction. I just hope it doesn't swing too far, because too far into conservatism leads to everybody being not everybody being in concentration camps, but I feel like if we go too far back into conservatism, basically, I don't want to go back to Jim Crow. That's it. I feel like if the pendulum swings all the way back into the conservatives, it's going to become Jim Crow, where the only people that are comfortable in America are white people. And it worked in the past for white people, but your boy's not white, so I'm still gonna advocate for my fucking self. Like, yeah. Okay, another thing. A lot of events, like, you know, but you know what? Even better. Let's have fun with this shit. 2016, Pokemon Go comes out. This is my own personal shit. Pokemon Go comes out, and this was around the time when I was super into Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. You know, I had I had Alpha Sapphire, came out in like 2014, you know, that type of shit. Yeah, now, move 10 years later, 2026, Pokemon Champions comes out, and I'm in the same loop now. It feels like life as it is in 2026 is a loop, because And I know I probably can get into this if I fully fleshed out this video, but your boy participated in 420. That's why this video sounds really like unhinged. You know, I'm still have the bleed effects from that edible, you know, that 2000 milli. Well, I didn't take 2000, but yeah, the Pokemon Champions, Pokemon Go, 10 years apart, same feeling. And you know, Alpha Sapphire, Brilliant Diamond, both Pokemon remakes from a game that came out over 15 years ago. I'm just saying, feels like we're in a time loop. There's other things I can talk about. The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Nobody fucking likes it. Nobody really cares about it anymore. You remember what happened in the 90s and stuff when Marvel sold off all their properties and shit? Yeah. Yeah. And you know, maybe this whole feeling of like us being in a time loop is coming from producers and directors just remaking old properties, because my inspiration for this was solely because of different movies that were coming out, and I'm like seeing different movies coming out again, like The Mummy. Oh my God. The Mummy that just came out, I haven't watched it yet, and I don't know if I'm gonna watch it because I heard it's a lot of gory stuff with children, which I'm just like, okay, I'm all for gore, but like, leave the kids out of it, bro. What other movie? There's just so many things that are like happening, and I can't fully put it into this video. I'm probably gonna make a second video to this. You know, I'm gonna be lazy as hell. I'm posting this just as is. I was gonna edit it and stuff, but I'm like, you know what? I don't really care. I'm low motivation Wishi today. Kishi not so motivated Wishi today. Sorry. I am going to go take a pre-workout and go to the gym and see if my motivation will come back. But yeah, this is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know if there's anything that you notice. I'm definitely gonna revisit this topic again in a future video. I don't think I did it enough justice. I'll probably actually make it fully scripted and stuff with my face. But yeah, thanks for watching. Be good people. I keep stopping and not finishing my thoughts. Okay, be good people. Love ya, and goodbye.